Welcome into the LFC Transfer Room. I'm Jack, here today to talk about the match between Liverpool and RB Leipzig, the home return leg after their 2-0 win in the away leg in the Champions League round of 16. Now, both matches, it's tough to call them home and away matches, both being played in Budapest, 1,300 miles away from Merseyside. It could be good news for Liverpool considering their incredibly poor recent home form, coming most recently with a 1-0 loss against Fulham. But in today's video, I'm going to talk about some analysis from that first match, some players to watch out for, and some things to generally know ahead of Wednesday's Champions League encounter. To start off things, look at the last match, some of the big moments that kind of defined the match throughout. So right here is an image from very early on in the match. It's the 5th minute. Right here, a pass is being played to Angelino in the left back slot. Alexander-Arnold is marking him. You see the midfield trio for Liverpool is a bit disjointed at this moment. Thiago and Curtis Jones are the deepest line right next to the referee with the ball right to the left of the referee's head. And Wijnaldum is a bit further up the field. Now, this is interesting considering that Wijnaldum is the prototypical defensive midfielder in this Jurgen Klopp's 4-3-3 system. So what this ends up leading us to is you see on the very next frame is the opportunity for Olmo is he's about to head this ball right next to Curtis Jones. He's going to get a good shot that's going to hit the post next to Alisson and not go in. This has been a common theme throughout the match, was an ability for RB Leipzig to generate chances from their midfielders coming from deep, especially Dani Olmo, who played as a forward but definitely was not on the edge of the center backs and the high line Liverpool played. So having a better defensive structure in the midfield is going to be crucial for Liverpool. So Liverpool had the better share of chances throughout the match, 1.45 xG in comparison to 0.93 xG throughout the match. Now, that is still quite a lot of chances to allow to Leipzig, and you have to imagine they'd bury some of them. Well, took a chance at Liverpool, however, failed to convert. This is Salah very early on in the match. It's a very, very nice move that led to a shot, but what I want to hit on first, actually, even before that, is a pass from Jordan Henderson. He's positioned as a center back. He played as a center back in this match alongside Ozan Kabak. He's going to spray this pass across the field to Alexander-Arnold, who then is going to play Salah in behind to make this shot right here. Now, this one was ended up being saved by Galaxy in the RB Leipzig net, but it was a very good chance, one of the best ones for Liverpool actually, with an XG of 26%. Another really great move saw Salah and Firmino link up before a dinked ball, had Mane with a pretty tough but also a manageable header within the 6-yard box. This one was given a 13% expected goals shot right here. This was one of the better moves of the game for Liverpool. We saw Firmino and Salah link up and it put a good ball in for Mane, unfortunately not able to get his head over it and ended up putting it over the bar. Now in terms of first half chances, they kind of waned off after that, except for one for Olmo a bit later on, very similar to that Mane chance. What he had was he had a bit of space between the center backs, a bit of miscommunication as the ball went over the head of Jordan Henderson, and he ended up getting his head onto it. Now, this is going to be a fascinating decision for Jurgen Klopp. Is he going to play two out-and-out center backs, or is he going to move Fabinho back into the heart of the defense? I'll hit a bit more later on some team news and a team I'd like to see Liverpool play. But right here, we saw the defensive frailties of a center back, Jordan Henderson, not able to read the ball, and almost had a decent heading opportunity inside the right near the penalty spot, but unfortunately was unable to get his header on target more towards the end of the first half. Now going into the second half, things look very similar. Both sides didn't make a change, and Cuckoo got a very, very good chance early on. He was slipped in with a good pass and had a one-on-one with Alisson. And this is due to the pace of Jordan Henderson, not the paciest guy at the center of the defense. And this one was a good save from Alisson to make sure that this match stayed 0. So here was a pass from Sabitzer trying to find his center back, but instead is going to misplay it, missing the center back. That's going to give Salah a really, really solid chance here, which you're going to see he's going to end up getting goal side of the center back, and he's going to end up burying that one in the bottom corner past Galaxy to make it 1-0. Now, this was a pretty good goal in the sense that Salah got in behind and buried his chance. Second big one of the matches, and was a joint best percentage chance of the match, with a 35% chance of scoring this one in the 53rd minute for Liverpool. It was tough to gauge whether this was a deserved one, considering that it had been coming off of a mistake from Sabitzer, but Liverpool were able to capitalize and use the high line to their advantage, give a lot of space for Salah. And just a few minutes after that, there was another mistake, this time Nordi Mukiele with a bit of a misreading here. He's going to end up missing this ball. It's going to give Mane just a clean run through on goal, and Mane is going to eventually bury this one past Galaxy in the bottom left-hand corner. It was a good finish by Mane, equally 35% expected goals as opposed to the Salah one earlier. So Two really good opportunities you would expect to score those two chances 70 or you expect to get .7 goals from that, but Liverpool got two of them because they were able to be clinical and get in behind. Now this was a facet of some pretty good pressing and some pretty good forcing of errors from the Liverpool side, which I think was a really positive thing to see. Last things I want to look at are two more chances for RB Leipzig. After the Mane goal, not much really happened in terms of chances for Leipzig, but there was one here. Angelino got goal side of Robertson and ended up slicing this shot wide left, but this was a decent opportunity given a 6% expected goal. It was a bit of a distance shot, tough to hit that one on the run, but was a chance nonetheless. He scored a very similar one against Manchester United when they played them in the group stage. The very last clip of the game I want to show is something that Liverpool may want to watch out for. Right here you see Adams. He's got Mane next to him. He's got Shaqiri, who came off of the bench. And I believe on the top it's a very low pixel picture. I believe that's Curtis Jones, who's marking the right winger. But you have Tyler Adams on the ball. He's got a bunch of the Liverpool block right below him. But it's going to take just one pass, and Chan is in behind with a one-on-one chance. This was the second best opportunity of the game for Leipzig very, very late on. He ended up missing this one, putting it wide, but it was a 20% expected chance there for Leipzig, and he was unable to put that one home. That would have been a big, big deal to get a goal in that home leg. But that's the kind of thing that I think really encapsulates what Leipzig will try and do in the second leg. So let's jump into some things that Leipzig may try to change and some things Liverpool need to do to kind of answer that. So what we saw in the Leipzig match was a midfield trio of Wijnaldum, Thiago, and Curtis Jones. I wouldn't be surprised to see Thiago back after not playing a single minute against Fulham. What I would like to see in terms of my midfield is Fabinho, Thiago, and Keita. Klopp probably will opt for Fabinho and Thiago, but probably not Keita, probably Wijnaldum, maybe even Jones, but more defensive-minded option in the midfield. I'd like to see Keita because it would offer a much more creative spark. The midfield is just one of many different areas Liverpool could look at many different options for. Do you play Salah? Do you play Mane? Do you play Jota? Do you bring Firmino back from injury if he's fit? In the center of defense, do you drop Fabinho back there to make a bit more security? Do you play Davies for a bit more pace if you want to play a high line? Is it Kabak and Phillips, guys who don't have a ton of Champions League experience? In the case of Phillips, no Champions League experience. There's many different options that Klopp can take. We saw 7 changes on the weekend against Fulham, and I'm fascinated to see what kind of decisions he makes ahead of this match against RB Leipzig. The fundamentals from this video that I want you to take away: Liverpool have an ability to really punish Leipzig for playing that high line. They can press pretty effectively, and they can get in behind. If Liverpool can create 2 or 3 chances like they did against Leipzig, they bury 1 or 2 of them, they'll be very, very confident of going through. The big things: a defensive mid who can kind of lock things down, and Fabinho win those midfield duels. Some center backs who are positionally center backs, they're not makeshift ones like Jordan Henderson. And if you're able to get forwards who are clinical and can get in behind, this is a really important point in the season for Liverpool. If you can get through the Champions League, there is still some hope. The Premier League top 4 dream feels like a dream right now. Feels like it's not going to be attainable in real life. So it's going to be up to the players on that pitch, 90 minutes in Budapest, 1,300 miles away from Merseyside. Can they break that home form duck and maybe take that and translate it into the Premier League in the next few weeks? 2-0 lead as things stand heading into the home leg of the match against RB Leipzig. This is a bit of analysis, a bit of a look at what to expect from the match. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm fascinated to know what you guys think about the match ahead of Wednesday. But for myself, Jack, this has been LFC Transfer Room. Make sure to subscribe for more content in the coming days. That's all I've got for you. Have a good rest of your day.